Hi, I'm Melanie from Yoga Within. Thanks for joining me today for Beginner Ashtanga. As always, make sure you check with your doctor if you have any health concerns at all, and do what feels right within you for this practice. It is a strong practice, so the idea is that it heals you, doesn't hurt you. I do encourage the use of props, especially in the beginner class. While traditionally Ashtanga is not taught with the props, sometimes they can help you find some strength and ease in your body. So let's get started. We'll start just sitting. Sit nice and tall, lift your spine, rest your hands on your knees or in your lap. Take a long deep breath in, a long deep breath out. Let your lips close lightly and begin to find the Ujjayi breath, breathing in and out through the nose with the mouth lightly closed. Try to keep the jaw soft and try not to force the breath. Just let it come and let it go as it will. You'll hear that gentle sound within the Ujjayi breath, and it does give the mind a place of focus. The mind follows the waves of the breath, and the practice becomes almost like a moving meditation. We think about the energy locks within the body, the root lock at the base of the spine, Mula Bandha, moving gently up the spine to Uddiyana Bandha, a couple of fingers below the navel. And then just letting the chin drop down towards the hollow of the throat into Jalandhara Bandha, the chin lock. And the breath continues to move through the body and across the mind, letting go of all the activities prior to coming to your mat. Let the chin lock release. Let the chin move lightly across the spine. Lift your head up. Try to keep the breath. I know some of you have lost it. Bounce into the knees. And try to bring yourself up to a standing position. See if you can come to standing without using your hands today. Coming into Samastiti or mountain pose, the outside edges of your feet parallel. Just pausing, sealing the hands at heart center for a moment. Remember the importance of your drishti, your point of gaze. Find the Ujjayi breath once more if you've let it go. Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, lift the arms, lift the gaze. Exhale, fold the body. If your hands don't come to the floor, place them on the shins or on the thighs. Then inhale, come partially up to a flat back. Exhale, place your hands on the floor beside your feet, step back to plank, place your knees on the ground, and lower yourself through chaturanga. Tops of the feet to the floor, lift to a baby cobra, or lift to upward dog, thighs down or thighs up. Knees down, tuck the toes, send the hips back and up, downward dog. If at any point you know that today is a day to leave downward dog out, leave it out and go to child's pose. Truly find what feels right for your body. You may need the feet a little farther apart or a little farther back. You might need the knees bent, particularly if there's back or hamstring problems today. The eyes are open throughout the practice, your drishti towards the wall behind you or towards the navel. As you inhale, bring your gaze and your feet back to your hands. You end up in that half fold. Exhale, fully fold. Inhale, come all the way up. If the shoulders hurt, just keep the hands on the hips. If the neck hurts, don't look all the way up. Exhale, back to Samastiti. We'll do this 2 more times. Inhale, arms and gaze. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, part way up. Exhale, step back. Knees can come down, build that strength in the neck. Don't hang the head. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, toes tucked, downward dog. Walk that dog out. Make the adjustments. You may need your hands farther apart. The hips, they move up and back. The neck is free. Thinking about that gentle lift of Mula Bandha and the engagement of Uddiyana Bandha, trying not to be an overachiever. The neck is free, the eyes are open, the breath is present. Inhale, gaze and feet back to hands to that partial fold. Exhale, fully fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, Samasthiti. Last time, inhale, arms and gaze. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine, lift those hips. Exhale, step back, try not to hang your heads, knees down, lower through, chaturanga, elbows in. Upward dog, tops of feet on floor, toes tuck, hips back, downward dog. Breathing. And try to include a little bit of movement. You're given the gift of 5 breaths to create change in the body and in the mind. You don't want to be doing the same thing over and over and over again, or you get the same results. And it is a repetitive practice, so it's important to explore what are the asanas teaching us today. Inhale, gaze and feet to hands. Exhale, fold the body. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, Samasthiti. Surya Namaskara B, knees bend. Now the knees and feet, they can be farther apart if there's pain in the back or the hamstrings, but they should be equal distance apart. Arms lift. Body folds. Inhale to that part way lift. Exhale, step back. Lower through chaturanga. Keep the strength in the neck. Don't hang the head. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Left foot pivots, right foot comes forward. Inhaling as you come up, lift the arms unless it hurts the shoulders. Exhale, come all the way back down. That left knee can come to the floor. Bend the right knee, lower through chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Other side, right foot pivots, left foot comes forward. Coming up, trying to keep the hips pointing straight ahead. Exhaling, coming back down. Put the knee down if you like. Keep it up if that's better. Know what's better for you. Inhale, upward dog, and for your body. Exhale, downward dog. Make the adjustments you need to make. Let the mind follow the rhythm of the breath. The practice is meant to be a healing practice, keep in mind. And sometimes we practice fast and furious and we hurt ourselves. Try to practice with kindness to yourself, with truthfulness. Where there's strength, there's ease. Inhale, gaze and feet to hands. Exhale, fold the body, bend the knees. Inhale, coming up, lift arms and gaze. If shoulders hurt, keep the hands here or hands on hips. Exhale, Samasthiti. Knees bend, arms and gaze up. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, step back, lower through chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Open that front body. Exhale, downward dog. Left foot pivots, right foot comes forward. Inhaling as we come up. Exhaling, coming all the way back and through chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Right foot pivots, left foot forward. Try to keep the weight even on both feet. Try to keep the front knee above the front heel. Exhaling, coming all the way back down. Breathing in into the back bend, upward dog. Breathing out into downward dog. Remember, the option is to always bring the knees to the floor, stack the fists, and rest the head on the fists. Don't let the head go lower than the heart if there's any blood pressure issues. Thinking gentle Mula Bandha, gentle Uddiyana Bandha. Neck is free, eyes open. Inhale, gaze and feet to hands, partial fold. Exhale, full fold. Bend the knees. Inhale, arms and gaze. Exhale, Samasthiti. Last time. Knees bend, inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, step back through plank. Lower through chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Left foot pivots, right foot comes forward. Breathing in as you come up. Breathing out as you come back down. Watch that head, knees down if you like. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Right pivots left forward. Breathing in. Breathing out as you come back down through chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Long, full breaths. Hopefully by now you have that sense of how you're feeling today. Keeping in mind that sometimes the hardest part of this practice is knowing when to back off. Feeling the heat build from the inside out. The Ujjayi breath creates that safe heat and you are in control. Inhale, gaze and feet to hand. Exhale, fold the body. Bend the knees. Inhale, arms and gaze. Exhale, Samastiti. Padangusthasana, move your feet about hip width apart. Bend the knees, take the pointer and middle fingers under the big toes, touch the thumbs. Bend the elbows. If this is enough, don't go any farther. If you can drop the head and begin to straighten the legs while you keep the elbows bent, do that. If there's pain in back and hamstrings, your feet may need to be a little farther apart. The neck is free. Breathing, breathing. Opening the upper back by bending the elbows. Bend the knees, straighten the arms, faces parallel to the floor. Padahastasana, lift the feet. Slide the hands under the feet so your fingers point to the heels. Bend the knees, bend the elbows, and stay here. Or you may be able to drop the head and begin to straighten the legs, keeping in mind what is a straight leg for you and what is a straight leg for me are two different things. Let this posture teach you what it's going to teach you, not me. Use your breath. Exploring all those nerve endings in the palms and in the soles of the feet. Bend the knees, lift the face parallel to the floor, place the hands on the hips, come all the way up. Exhale, step back to the front of the mat, Samastiti. As you inhale, step out wide to the right, Utthita Trikonasana. Your right foot turns out. Your left foot turns slightly in, arms are parallel to the floor. Extend over the right leg, lower the right arm. Left hand can be on the hip, or it can extend up. If you have a block or even a Kleenex box, you can always rest the hand on the block. Keep in mind the block changes height, so you can challenge yourself without hurting yourself. This right leg, make sure it's not hyperextended, that it's not locked. Your drishti can be up, straight ahead, or down to the big toe. Keep breathing. Arches of both feet are lifting. As you inhale, come back up to standing. And as you exhale, turn your feet. Extend over the left leg. Bring the left arm down. Take the right arm up. Do what feels right for you. Remember, if all my weight is on my hand and my neck is hanging, I'm losing all my strength. So try to rise up energetically. Connect top and bottom half of the body right here at the core. Remember, in Trikonasana and triangle pose, we're trying to lengthen top and bottom half of the body equally. Open the shoulders. Use your breathing. It tells you your story. Now inhale, come up. Pick up the block if you're using it. On an exhale, turn your feet. So the right points straight ahead. The left is at a slight angle and the hips point straight ahead. Parvrita means rotate. So as the body comes forward, that right hip goes back. Left hand either comes beside the right foot or to the outside. Right hand rests in the low back, straight out from the right shoulder, or straight up towards the ceiling. The weight is even on both feet. Gaze down, center or up. Breath is present. Use your breathing. Good. Inhale, come up. Exhale, same thing, other side. That is the beauty of Ashtanga. We do it on one side, we do it the other. So standing posture's foundation is feet. Set your foundation, left hip back, right thigh forward, so pick the feet up and move them if you need to. As you come forward, imagine squeezing a block between your inner upper thighs. Right hand to the inside of the left foot, to the outside of the left foot, or it can even rest on a shin or a block. Left hand sacrum, straight out from the shoulder, or straight up from the shoulder. Weight is even on both feet. Unclench your teeth and your toes. Know where your gaze should be to lengthen and strengthen your neck, not to create compression. Take one more breath in and one more breath out. Inhale, come up. Exhale, reset at the front of the mat, Samastiti. Utthita Parasvaskanasana, step out wide to the right, turn the right foot out, bend the right knee. Knee above heel, stacking the joints for the greatest strength through the foundation. Elbow to the thigh, hand to the hip, or left arm can come up. Try not to hang the head, build the strength in the neck. You can also use the blocks here at the inside or the outside of the foot. Or you can pick that right hand up and extend it out and know that truly your legs are holding you here. Lift the arch of that back foot. Don't roll to the pinky toe side of the foot. Good. An inhalation brings you up. As you exhale, you turn your feet and repeat the same thing on the other side. Remember, elbow on thigh, on the floor. The hand can be at the inside or the outside of the knee. You press the arm into the leg and rotate, or you press the leg into the arm and rotate. If the head's hanging, remember the idea is to build strength in the body. If that back hip's swinging up, try to drop the groin down and lift the pelvic floor up. Your next inhalation brings you up. And as you exhale, and don't worry, as long as you're breathing, if you're not doing the breath I'm calling out, it's fine, I'm just reminding you. You're moving into the Parivrtta. So right foot points ahead and you bend the right knee. You want to start drawing that right hip back so you can bring the left elbow to the outside of the knee. In a perfect world, that back left heel is on the floor. But for some of us, we actually need to bring the knee down. The hands meet palm to palm. And the gaze might go up to the right elbow, to the side, or down to the right big toe. Some of us can lift the knee, and some people can keep the whole foot on the floor. Do the variation that provides you the greatest stability and strength. As you inhale, bring yourself up. Exhale, same thing, other side. So set your foundation being your feet. Try to get your hips pointing straight ahead. Begin to bend the knees so the knee is above the heel and draw the hip back. The right elbow goes to the outside of the left knee. Try not to have your bottom sticking up in the air. If that's the case, you might be better off to start with the knee on the ground. Do what gives you your greatest strength. Try to work from the inside out. Don't think about what it looks like. Think about what it feels like. Front hip back, so left thigh back. Left hip back, right thigh forward. Inhale, come up. Exhale, step back to the front of the mat. Samastiti. Prasarita Padottanasana A. You step your feet wide apart. The outside edges of your feet are parallel. The hands come to the hips. You bend the knees and send the hips back. Now this, as you start to bend the knees, I find my stance is too wide, so I shorten a bit. Elbows can rest on thighs, and that might be as far as you go with your face looking down. Some of you will be able to drop your arms and put your hands flat. Some of you may be able to drop the head, walk the hands back, bend the elbows, and as you begin to straighten the legs, you may find you need to readjust how far apart your feet are. Remember, if your head goes to the floor, bring your feet closer together slightly. If you need more, or if you can't get the head to the floor, move the feet farther apart. If you feel dizzy, ask yourself why you're all the way forward. Keep breathing. Squeeze those elbows like you're holding the wooden block between them. Now, straighten the arms, lift the torso parallel to the floor, place the hands on the hips, and come all the way up. Release the arms to the sides. Lift the arms shoulder height. Place the hands back on the hips. Bend the knees, bend forward from the hip creases. So if you think about your pinky fingers in your hip creases, send those hips back. Readjust your foundation, which is your feet. If this is far enough, stay there. If you want, you can lift the hips as you begin to straighten the legs. Some of you may even find that placing your head on the block helps give you a bit more stability. Lift the arches of the feet. As you root your feet, root big toe mound, little toe mound, and the center of each heel. If you're thrusting through your chin, let your head go. Inhale, come all the way up, or bend the knees, place the palms on the thighs, and come up like that. Exhale. Inhale, lift the arms, lift the gaze. Exhale, interlace the hands behind the back and extend the arms. Now, if chest expander is too much, and you have a strap or you have the belt of your bathrobe handy, hold it between your hands, extend your arms out and squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other like you're squeezing a lemon. Bend the knees, take the torso parallel to the floor, move the arms overhead, so give yourself more strap if you need. If you're not dizzy, you can drop the head down and begin to straighten the legs, bringing the arms towards the floor over the head. If you are in chest expander, think about making one arm. So bringing the palms together like you're holding a little ping pong ball between the heels of the hands. You'll either bend the knees, lift the torso parallel to the floor and come all the way up, or you'll come all the way up with straight legs. Keep those arms lifted. Exhale, hands to hips. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold halfway forward. Bend those knees, elbows to thighs. Stay there, or take the pointer and middle fingers under the big toes, touch the thumbs. Bend the elbows, get the knees moving towards the armpits. If you're not dizzy, drop the head and begin to straighten the legs. The elbows bend, so they're in right angles. Breathing, breathing. Readjust your feet if you need to. Make sure the weight's even on the feet. Inhale, straighten the arms, face parallel to the floor. Exhale, hands to hips or bend the knees, put the palms on the thighs. And inhale brings you back up to standing. And you exhale back to that neutral Samasthiti position. You bring your hands behind your back so the palms are touching. If that doesn't work, you can touch your knuckles towards each other or hold your elbows. Do what opens the upper back, opens the front body. You take your right foot, step it around. Your left foot's at a slight angle, and both hips are pointing straight ahead. Front hip draws back, body folds halfway forward. Again, if this is enough, stay here. You may need to draw the front hip back, move the back thigh forward. You can go all the way forward if that feels right for you. If you prefer, you can use the block, rest your hand on the block, and be here. Really, truly know what gives you your greatest strength and what will create change in the body and in your mind. Your next inhalation brings you back up to standing. And as I said, the beauty of Ashtanga is we do one way and then we do the other way. Left hip back, right thigh forward. So reset your foundation, your feet. Go halfway forward. You put a tiny micro bend in that left knee so that you can send the hips up and back just like you would in downward dog. Those of you overarching your neck, let your head go. Keep your foundation strong. Slide your fingertips all the way up your spine to where the hair and the neckline meet. Use your breathing. If the weight is all on the front foot, remember you want the weight even on both feet. Keep in mind, a locked body is not a strong body. Inhale, bring yourself all the way up to standing. Exhale, step back to the front of the mat into Samastiti. Now, as you transition into full balance, use the walls if you need to, use straps if you need to. Standing on your left foot, lift your right. Lift the foot off the floor if you can. Hook your arm at the back of the thigh and stay here. If it's a day where you can begin to straighten that right leg, by all means. If you prefer the left palm on the left thigh, then you can do that. Keep your breathing. Visualize your body. Remember, we're trying to heal it, so think about the hips being as even as you can, the shoulders being even, the mind being present. An inhalation brings you back up to standing, remembering that the hip is ball in socket. So move the hip in the socket. Pause for a moment. Notice if the hips are as even as you can get them. Are the shoulders even? You can turn your gaze the opposite direction to the right leg if you like. You can hook and hold the back of the thigh. Some of you may be able to actually straighten the leg without leaning. Keep breathing. Try not to lock the body. Listen to the story of your breath. Let the mind ride the waves of the breath, making this practice meditative. Bring the leg back to the center. Bend forward. Bring yourself back up to standing. Extend the leg. So as you extend the leg, if you're leaning back like this, keep in mind that's probably your low back. But if you can straighten the leg and be connected top and bottom half at the core, that's where your body is stronger. A retraction, a bending of the knee, a lifting, and extending the leg out. So the hip's not hiked, it's dropping down. Use your breath. Often our mind gets in the way and it says, no, I can't do this. Retract and straighten. Now flex the foot, bring it down, and just walk it out. Switch sides, keeping in mind, rarely is our body or our balance the same from side to side. Weight to the right, lift the left heel. If this is your balance today, be grateful. If you can lift your foot, be grateful. Be grateful for whatever our body allows us and our mind allows us to do today. Keep your breath, use the power of both your feet. Keep breathing. The natural curve of the neck. Big toe mound, little toe mound, center of the heel of the right foot rooted. Your next inhalation brings you up. Even up the hips, take the leg out. Use your breathing, open your shoulders, turn your head if you like. Remember, as you turn your head though, you don't want it to be like snake bite. You are trying to build strength in the neck. Use the power of your gaze. Right now my hip is hiking. I'm practicing more with my ego. So as I change it, I'm practicing with the true strength of my body today. Bring the leg back to the center. Bend forward. Bring yourself back up. Extend that leg, point the toes, keeping in mind when the mind gets in the way, retract and try again. Use your breathing. Flex the foot, release. Walk it out. You're back at the front of your mat into Samastiti. Inhale, lift the arms, lift the gaze. Exhale, fold the body forward. We move through a vinyasa. Inhale, partially up, long, smooth neck. Exhale, step back. Put the knees down, lower through chaturanga, elbows in, shoulders moving apart. Upward dog, lightly squeezing the shoulder blades, opening the front body. Exhale, downward dog. Take a moment, adjust, walk it out if you like. As you inhale, lift the hips. Bring the feet between the hands, and you may even want to practice lifting the hips by taking as many tiny steps as you can, keeping your hands flat. Now, bend the knees, place the palms on the thigh, lift the torso. You can be right here for Utkatasana. You can have the arms forward or you can have the arms up. But when you lift your arms, if you do, think about wrapping your arms around a big, big tree trunk. Tip the pinky fingers up slightly and feel these serratus muscles kicking in. If you're feeling pain in the back or the hamstrings, step your feet farther apart. There should be the equal distance between knees and feet. You want the natural curve of your spine so you're not feeling that overstraining in the low back. You want your body to be strong. If your gaze is up, again, you're building strength in the neck, not just hanging that head back. Know why you're doing what you're doing. Don't do it just because I say to. One more breath in, one more breath out. Sit back a little farther, and on your next exhalation, fold forward. Inhale, part way up. Exhale, step back to plank. If you can, keep your knees up. You can. Inhale, upward dog, breathing. Exhale, downward dog. Virabhadrasana A, left foot pivots. Right foot comes forward between the hands. Come up, place your hands on your hips. Adjust your foundation first, your feet. So front hip, right hip back, back thigh forward. Hands can be hips in front. You can always bend the elbows, build that upper body strength. If you can lift the arms, but actually know why you're lifting them and work your arms, by all means. Again, the drishti, the gaze is up if the neck is long and free, not compressed and strained. Front hip back, back thigh forward, weight even on the feet. Breathe here. Now straighten your front leg. Adjust your feet. It helps to bring your hands to your hips so your arms aren't just flailing. Knee above heel, left hip back, right thigh forward, which might mean pick your feet up and adjust them. You decide, are you better hands, hips, arms up, or arms all the way up? Try to resist thrusting the ribs and moving into a back bend. In this particular variation of warrior, we're not doing a back bend. Use your breathing. Back leg is strong without being locked. Make sure you're also rolling to the pinky toe side of the back foot, not just the big toe mound. Take one more breath in and one more breath out. Now, adjust your feet and bring your arms parallel to the floor. Your left knee is bent. Your gaze is to your left hands. Your hips are pointing straight ahead between the legs, and your bottom's not sticking out. You have the natural curve of your spine. Breathing. The weight is even on the feet. The back leg is either at 90 or turned slightly in. What feels better on that back hip? Groin drops, pelvic floor lifts. If you're lunging, perhaps you need to widen your stance or make your legs farther apart. Now straighten the leg, turn the feet and turn the head. So you're doing the same thing on the other side. Knee above heel for strengthen the foundation, strengthen the structure, which is you. Try not to be having the hips point to this front knee. Think as best you can, hips point forward between the legs. Arms parallel to the floor. Breath is present, so it's like you're drawing your legs together. One more breath in, one more breath out. As you transition, this back arm lifts, the back heel lifts, and you pivot those left toes forward. The knee can come down if you like, the hands can come down. You bring the right knee back and you lower through chaturanga. Tops of the feet to the floor. So all 10 toes, upward dog, thighs down or up. It is a back bend. So you're moving your body forward. Knees down, toes tucked, downward dog. Now you're coming to the seated portion of the practice. You come down onto your bottom, the way that's best for you or the way that's in your practice. The legs are out, the hands are down. Now this is where you may find that sitting on the edge of a block or a rolled up blanket is useful. If you're here, leaning back, which I spent about 12 years of my 30 some odd years doing yoga, leaning back like this until I learn the act of lifting my hips to tilt the pelvis. So if you would benefit from a block for now, use it. Hands down, chest lifts, sternum, center of chest to chin. If you need to bend the knees slightly, bend them. Use your feet. Keep in mind here, your foundation has changed. It's no longer standing, so it's no longer your feet. But then we tend to forget to use our feet, so use them. Now, as you inhale, look up, so lift your head. As you exhale, bend from the hip creases, not the bottom of the rib cage, and fold forward. So you might reach the floor, you might reach your shins, you might reach your feet. You use pointer, middle finger around the big toes, thumb touches, elbows bend. Some of you may find that the straps are helpful. Some of you may find you'll get your forward fold a lot deeper by bending the knees and in time extending the heels forward and the bottom back. That way you're lengthening the entire backside of the body. Use your breathing. Natural curve of your neck. So often you'll hear the cue drishti towards the big toes. It doesn't mean crank the neck. It means roll your eyeballs in their sockets. As you inhale, straighten the arms, lift the spine. You can bring the outsides of the hand or your fingers to the outsides of the feet, the thumbs below the big toes. Elbows bend, body folds, breathing. Natural curve of the spine, which includes your neck. Don't be afraid of moving. Some of that little bit of wiggling can help create a lot of depth in the body. Don't hold on to attachments of what you think it should look like. Think about what does it feel like for you. Inhale, bring yourself back up. It should be as much work as going down. Exhale, release. Cross your ankles and spark. Build that upper body strength, the bandha strength, the core strength. Into Parsvattanasana or inclined plane. The knees bend with the heels below the knees. The hands go way back, the elbows bend. As you lift the bottom up, the hips are pressing up. The neck is in line with the spine. Breathing. If you do move into full inclined plane, keep in mind that the feet and the hands are the foundation. So if you're here like this, you would build way more strength by staying in this position first. Use your breathing. Use your breathing. Take one more breath in, one more breath out. Lower yourself down. Cross your legs the opposite way and spark. If you do vinyasas, they are meant to heal your body, not hurt them. You move through chaturanga. Upward dog, that's your inhale, opening the body. Downward dog is your exhale. You inhale, look forward, and exhale, sit back down. Moving to Jana Shishasana A, left leg is straight, right knee bends. Now keep in mind, in the beginner class, we leave a lot of the postures out. We're not doing the full primary. Body folds forward. If you need something under that right knee, put it there. If you need your strap, use it. If you get a deeper forward fold and more release in the hamstrings where you will create change, bend the knees. It's that left hip back, left big toe mound forward, neck in line with the spine. Breath is present and the weight is even on everything on the ground. So if you're heavily leaning left, you'll probably wonder at the end of the practice, why have I hurt my left hamstring? Work with your breathing. Remember, it tells you your story. Inhale, come up. It should be every bit as much work as bending forward. Exhale, release. Left leg is straight. Spark. Switch sides. Right leg straight. Left foot in. The foot sole can be against the inner thigh, or you start rolling the foot up. Right hip back. Body fold. Hold what you can hold. Neck in line with the spine. Bend the knee, use the strap. Some of you may even need padding under that right knee. A rolled up blanket can help. The elbows bend out to help open the upper back. You want to create change in the body, change in the mind. The only way you create change is by letting go of attachments to doing it exactly the same way every time. Remember, you do it the same, you get the same results. Inhale, come up. Exhale, release. Right leg is straight. Cross right leg in front. It helps equalize the hips. Left leg straight. So we'll move to C. The variation being, lift that right foot, take the right hand and pull the toes back. You can have the arm at the outside of the leg. A lot of people bring the arm under. Personally, I just find I get stuck when I do it that way. So I bring the arm in front. This pose is about hips and working the feet. For some of us, bending that left knee, bringing it to the floor is what you need. For some of us, it's tucking the toes right down, lifting the heel up, and then taking the body forward. The heel goes into that area just below the navel. Inhale, come up. Exhale, release. Spark, left leg front, and switch sides. Right leg straight, left toes tucked, sitting up, leaning forward, ankle on knee. Full pose, toes down. Remember, what benefits you the most? Inhale, bring yourself up. Exhale, release, and spark. Keep your breathing. Marichyasana A, left leg straight, right knee bends. Your right shoulder comes to the inside of the knee, and you can be here with the hands in prayer. Some of you will take the right hand around the back and the left hand around the back, and your hands will meet. Some of you will need the strap to hold between the hands. Marichyasana is all about opening hips and shoulders and trying to get them as even as you can. Marichyasana A, the one you're doing now, is not a twist. So you want your shoulders, if you were thinking of your mat being a mirror, your shoulders would be even. Inhale, bring yourself up, draw your shoulders down, lift your sternum. Exhale, release, spark. And switch sides. Right leg straight, left knee bends. Left shoulder to the inside of the left knee. Remember, the hands can meet in prayer, or you bring left arm around, right hand behind the back. Use the straps if you like. The wrapping hand is the grabbing hand. So the left hand grabs the right shoulder draws forward, the left shoulder draws back, so you may need to move the left foot out wider. And you try to keep the weight as even as you can on everything on the ground. Natural curve of your spine, which includes your neck. As you come up, keep the bind. Inhale, exhale, release, and spark. You're moving into Marichyasana C, which is a twist. So there's 2 forward folds, 2 twists. In the beginner class, we'll just do 1 forward fold, 1 twist. So left leg is straight, right knee bends. You want the weight to be even on both glutes. Opposite hand, so left to the right knee, right hand behind, fingertips on the floor. So if you were leaning, take that right foot, move it forward, sit up, rotate the torso around the spine. You can always adjust. Perhaps it's your elbow to the outside of the knee. Perhaps you bring the hand behind the back and you join your hands. Your chin parallel to the floor. You are turning your head, but let it be creating strength in the neck, not snake bite, not strain. Use both legs equally. Bring yourself back to the center. Spark. And switch sides. Right leg straight, left leg bent. Sit up nice and tall. Draw the shoulders down. Bring the right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Bring the left hand behind. Sitting up nice and tall. Keep your breathing. Pick that back arm up if you like. Bring it around the back. Breathe into the back arm. You can take the arm under the leg. Hold the hands. Use both legs equally. So this right leg, don't let it flop out. Keep the foot flat. Keep your breath. Now inhale, sit up nice and tall. Bring it back to the center and spark. If you do your vinyasas, by all means. Coming into Navasana, so you can sit on a blanket. I wouldn't advise sitting on the blocks. This is a lot of balance. You can start, you want the weight even on both glutes, bend the knees. Hold the backs of the thighs, lift the toes. This might be your Navasana. If you can lift the heels, lift the heels. If you already feel your boat sinking, lift up the pelvic floor, drop the shoulders. You can hold here. You can hold the calves. Some of you may begin to extend the legs, pointing the toes. Shoulders are even. Remember, it's about finding the strength in your body. Keep your breath. Cross your legs high. Place your hands down, lean and lift. Try not to let the legs flop out and the head hang. Build that core strength. Come back into it again. So if this is your boat pose, your Navasana, this is perfect. If it progresses, that's perfect too. Remember, this practice is about you, not about me. And just when we think we have something, somebody says, oh, can you do this? So maybe you can let go of the legs. The drishti is up, but not at the expense of compression in the neck. Pinky fingers roll slightly up, shoulders move apart. Breath is strong. Cross spark, lift. And one more time if you can. Remember, this can be your option. Move through it. Try different things. Challenge yourself. Don't hurt yourself. Try to get out of your mind and into your heart. What feels right? Use your breathing. That little voice that guides us, so often we ignore it. Try tuning in, listening. Good. Spark. And come down. If you do vinyasa, by all means, now coming into Baddha Konasana, bringing the footstools towards each other, rolling them open, having the elbows in alongside the body, and just coming forward to a flat spine. If it's a day you do want to hang your head, know why you're doing it. Don't do something because I suggested it. Keep breathing. Take one more breath in and one more breath out. Bring yourself all the way back up and extend your legs out. So either adjust your glutes, roll them back, or again, sit up on this block. You can bend your knees, place your hands on the floor and stay here. It is a forward fold, so bend from the hip creases. Some of you will be able to grab your toes, bend your elbows, drop your shoulders. Maybe the chin goes to the floor. Think Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. Try not to lock the legs. The heels are down. Keep your breathing. An inhalation brings you up. Exhale, release. Cross your legs. Spark. Now you can move back into Navasana if you like, or you can do this variation, bending the knees, flexing the feet, being here, lifting the heels in line with the knees, holding the calves. Some of you may go into the full pose. Remember, you don't want to be rounding. Lift, lift, lift. Truly, don't get attached to flexibility. Find both your strength and your flexibility. Breathing. Breathing, release, spark, either come down onto your back, or if you prefer, move through the vinyasa, coming all the way down, lifting up, dropping the shoulders, tucking the toes, sending the hips up and back. When you come down onto your back, adjust your neck. If you do want something under your head, by all means, a little blanket. Your left leg start with both knees bent, actually, and extend the right leg up. Reach up and grab the toe. If you can't, use a strap. If your back doesn't bother you, then straighten the left leg. If that right hip is swinging in the air, drop it down. Torso comes up, so maybe you're holding the calf. If the hip's swinging up, drop it down. Left palm on the left thigh or on the floor. Try to have your shoulders fairly even. Keep breathing. Now the torso comes down. Bend that right knee into the chest. Move the thigh across the rib cage. Then extend the leg up and out. Gaze can go the opposite direction, so it can go to the left. Breath is strong. Remember, you can keep the knee bent and have the leg here. You can even support something under the knee. Bring it back to the center. Lift the torso up. Torso comes down. Lower the leg down. Bend both knees. Bring the knees into the chest. Rock it out. Switch sides. Start with feet on the floor. Lift the left leg. Grab the toe, the thigh. Use a strap. If the back's all right, straighten the other leg. Palm on the thigh or on the floor. Chin tips down. Head lifts up. Breathing. If the hip is hiking up, drop it down. Connect top and bottom half right at the core. Find the strength in the neck. Head comes down. Knee bends. Move the hip in the socket. Take the leg out. Turn the head the opposite way. If this right glute is not on the floor, you know you are not working your strength. Don't worry if the left leg's on the ground. And if it hurts to turn your head right, you need to ask yourself, why do you do the things that I'm telling you to do? Do what is right for you. The leg comes back, the hip drops down, the torso lifts. Torso comes down, leg lowers down. Pause, bend the knees. Bring the thighs into the chest and rock it out. If you have anything under your head now, slide it out. Adjust, tip the chin down, place the feet on the floor with the heels below the knees. Knees and feet are roughly hip width apart, palms down. Lift the hips up, coming into the hip lift. So it is a back bend. With the heels below the knees, the risk of moving into hamstrings with the feet too far forward or knees with the heels too close to the body is lessened. If you feel your back, adjust your feet farther apart or closer together. Keep the natural curve of your neck. So sternum moves to chin. If they touch, move the chin away slightly. Squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other like you're lightly squeezing a lemon. Lower yourself down. Bring the thighs into the chest. Rock it out. Repeat it one more time if you can. Any of you who do practice the wheel, by all means, you can always come into the wheel. But if you know the hip lift is what is safer for you today, that is what you should do. Use your breathing. You do use your glutes, so lightly squeeze your glutes. Don't overuse them or you'll feel pain in the back. If you start feeling yourself sinking, you probably aren't using your legs anymore. Back bends are about strengthen the legs. Use your hands, roll your shoulders under, lift those hips, keep breathing. Good, lower yourself down, upper back, mid back, low back, bottom. Bring your knees into the chest. You can roll over to the side to come up, or you can come up however you like and move into Paschimottanasana, your forward fold. So readjust your glutes, use the blocks if you need, fold the body forward. Use your breathing. Bring yourself back up. You either move into your preparation for the closing poses or you move through a vinyasa. So you would go chaturanga, upward dog, downward dog, back into a seated position where you sit cross-legged, half lotus or full lotus. If you are doing full lotus, it's right foot and then left. The arms come behind the back, holding the arms, chin down, squeeze the air to the lower abdominals, fold forward. Keep breathing. Think Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. These closing postures are held for anywhere from 5 breaths to way longer. You bring yourself up, extend the arms, palms up, thumb and index finger touch, other 6 fingers extended. Chest lifts, chin drops, breathing here. Eyes are open, gaze down the tip of the nose. Then hands come down, lifting to Utplutihi. Take as many breaths as you can, and I know you can all take at least 5 breaths. You can always re-lower down, and then lift yourself up. Lower down again, stretch the legs out, vinyasa if you prefer, otherwise lie yourself down on your mat. Take a deep breath in through the nose, Open your mouth, exhale loudly and completely. The practice is complete, just like a life cycle. It starts with an inhale, ends with an exhale. I encourage you to stay in Shavasana for as long as you need. Remember, it is your gift to you and all those around you to take care of you. Lie in gratitude to yourself and to your body. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your practice with me today. Namaste. Don't forget, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll see you next time.